Good evening. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Spring 2019 EMT Graduation. Congratulations. My name is Bill Lariah. I am the EMS Program Director for the Public Safety Academy here. For guests, friends, and family of the EMT graduates, you're sitting in the auditorium of Passaic County Community College Public Safety Academy. Here at the Academy, the primary training is for emergency medical services, or EMS, the fire service, that's right, and the fire service. That said, I'd like to point out some of the fire exits in the room for some of the firefighters who are here in the building. There are fire exits in the back, and there's a fire exit here to my left, to your right. Should the fire alarm go off and you need to exit, do so in an orderly fashion, okay, for the fire guy. There you go. The restrooms, for the people who've just come in, the restrooms are located down the hall just past the cafeteria. I'd like everybody to please stand, remove your hats if you have them, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection for our men and women serving in our military and for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice as a soldier in law enforcement, the fire service, and EMS as well. Thank you. Please be seated. I would like to introduce Janet Albrecht. She's the Acting Executive Director of Continuing Education and Workforce Development, to give the opening remarks. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Passaic County Community College, our Public Safety Academy. And that's my check to see, if you can hear me way in the back. You can? Okay, great, thanks. Thank you for choosing Passaic County Community College for your education. And I'd like to say congratulations to all of you who have successfully completed the emergency medical technician training. It is a rigorous and very challenging course, and it's that way for a reason. We all want well-trained and competent emergency medical services workers to come and help us when we need that help, when our families are in trouble or we're in trouble. And we are so grateful and appreciative when people do come out and help us when we can't help ourselves or our families. And you've gained a lot of knowledge and skills in this training, and that will really benefit you. Many people who take this training go on to volunteer for their communities. Others work as emergency medical services staff or technicians. Many people use this training to go on to further education and training in healthcare. It's a great field. There's so many opportunities. It's a very rewarding career. And some even come back as instructors or instructor aides. So we're always looking for people to come and join us here at the college. So again, this training offers many, many opportunities. There is one more step, correct? You have to take the National Registry exam. So on that note, enjoy tonight's activities, because tomorrow it's back to the books. And on that note, I wish you lots of luck, and again, congratulations, and many thanks to all the family and friends who have come out to support the students, and that is so important to student success, having that support, so we do appreciate that. Thank you.
Tonight, on behalf of myself, Passaic County Community College Public Safety Academy, and our staff of instructors, all of you need to be congratulated on completing this EMT course and the sacrifices that you and your family have made. Most of you will sit for the National Registry of Emergency Medical Technician exam, also known as the NREMT exam, in the very near future. Passing the exam represents commitment you have made to the potential of helping and possibly saving people's lives. Equally important is the successful completion of the PCC EMT program are the innovative medical procedures and techniques that meet the needs of today, following the New Jersey as well as the national standard. The NREMT license that you will be receiving when you pass is recognized in 46 states in the country. Some of these include bleeding control derived from our military and the administration of Narcan. For those of you who have never heard of Narcan, Narcan is used to reverse the deadly effects of heroin and other opioid overdose. In these changing times, the training of the EMTs requires the proper use of some of the state-of-the-art tools to help save lives. How important is that? Events like the Boston Marathon bombing, events in Las Vegas, Parkland, Florida, and most recently on Tuesday, the charter school in Colorado could cause injuries that require the use of what you've learned using tourniquets and hemostatic bandaging. This EMS class has received the new standard of training called Stop the Bleed, with the use of state-of-the-art simulators that breathe, bleed, and, as you know, scream and yell back at you. Currently, uncontrolled bleeding is the #1 preventable death from trauma. I'm going to show you a service announcement. It's only a few moments long. I think it's important that everybody gets to see it.
You've probably seen these boxes on our set. They are bleeding control kits.
And they're part of the new White House initiative. Soon, you'll be seeing them on the walls of public spaces.
Airports, shopping malls, even your place of business. Open the box and you will find what you need to stave off a bleeding wound
and give the victim time for help to arrive.
These are items that you should also have in your home and car.
The kit comes with gauze, scissors, and a tourniquet.
As well as gloves to protect you and the patient.
Often holding pressure firmly against a wound or wrapping it tightly will stop the bleeding.
But in more severe cases, a tourniquet may be required.
It should be slipped on the limb and fastened above the bleeding wound. Then use a plastic rod to tighten it until the bleeding stops. Once applied, the patient should be taken to the hospital and the tourniquet removed by medical personnel only.
Make sure you call 911 first. For more information and instructional videos, please visit these websites.
You can save a life by learning how to stop the bleed.
CBS cares.
Thank you. Soon you'll see those kits readily available, the same way you see AEDs or defibrillators on the walls in public places. We encourage everybody to get as much training as they can on that. Included inside the envelope with your certificates today, each student will receive a challenge coin. This is the challenge coin, and I will go over with you the history of a challenge coin. We began giving them out in 2017, and you have to graduate from this program in order to get one. You can't buy them. They're just for the students that graduate. So according to the most common story, challenge coins originated during World War I. Before the entry of the United States into the war in 1917, American volunteers from all parts of the country filled the newly formed flying squadrons. Some were wealthy students attending college, such as Yale and Harvard, who quit in midterm to join the war. In one squadron, a wealthy lieutenant ordered medallions struck of solid bronze and presented them to his unit. One young pilot placed the medallion in a leather pouch as he wore around his neck. Shortly after acquiring the medallion, the pilot's aircraft was severely damaged by ground fire. He was forced to land behind enemy lines and was immediately captured by a German patrol. In order to discourage his escape, the Germans took all of his personal identification except for the small leather pouch around his neck. In the meantime, he was taken to a small French town near the front. Taking advantage of the bombardment that night, he escaped. However, he was without personal identification. He succeeded to avoid the German patrols by donning civilian attire and reached the front lines. With great difficulty, he crossed no man's land. Eventually, he stumbled into a French outpost. Saboteurs had plagued the French in that sector, and they sometimes masqueraded as civilians and wore civilian clothes. Not recognizing the young pilot's American accent, the French thought that he was a saboteur and made ready to execute him. He had no identification to prove his allegiance, but he did have the leather pouch containing the medallion. He showed the medallion and his would-be executioners to the would-be executioners, and one of the French captors recognized the squadron insignia on the medallion. They delayed his execution long enough for him to confirm his identity. Instead of shooting him, they gave him a bottle of wine. Now, back at the squadron, it became tradition to ensure that all members carried their medallion or coin at all times. This was accomplished through a challenge in the following manner. A challenger would ask to see the medallion. If the challenged could not produce the medallion, they were required to buy a drink of choice for the member who challenged them. If the challenged member produced the medallion, then the challenging member was required to pay for the drink. The tradition continued throughout the war for many years, and after the war, while surviving members of the squadron were still alive. So carry your coin, first to remind you of the accomplishment that you successfully completed the EMT program. Secondly, not that we are promoting drinking, okay, alcohol, especially for people under 21. But for the last 2 years, the graduates of this program will be ready to give you a challenge if they know that you graduated from here. So keep that in mind, okay? So you'll each receive this. We're up to the part of awarding the certificates. So if I could have Scott, Mary, would you like to come up? Travis? Okay. I'll introduce the people up here with the ball cap on. Scott Van Bolen. Scott is the coordinator of the EMS program. There were 2 leads because we ran 2 classes this semester. We ran a Monday-Wednesday class and a Tuesday-Thursday class. Mary Tiratilli was the lead for the Monday-Wednesday class, and Travis Conklin was the lead for the Tuesday-Thursday class. Just want to give them a round of applause. Before we leave tonight, I'll introduce all of the other staff that we have here, but right now we're going to go right to the diplomas.
All right, you guys, you all got chapter 41 practice, please? How are you supposed to do that tonight? Okay, starting.
Yes. Okay.
We're going after that.
First row, you just stand. It's the first row. And go.
With purpose.
You stay right there.
Okay, let's go. Okay.
Thank you.
Kira Abrams. I'm gonna get you. Asim Emerald. Alyssa Aprial. Anna Ferdier. Laura Cadena. Justin Chipkin. Rios. Second row up. Mohammed El Faramawi. Hamza El Qadi. Iris Fabian. Michael Galan. Jennifer Gallardo. Nicole Hoyer. Kathleen Hopkins. Matthew Johnson. Chelsea Megan. Alexander Martinez. Crystal McLean. Brianna Merced. Leonardo Mordesani. Nicole Motley. Barbara Mulvey. Samantha Peluso. Brian Ramirez. Joshua Sheeran. Brian Taylor. Jake Van Dyne. Cynthia Vizcara. Oh. Stephanie Zerilla.
Stay up here. The next presentation that we're going to make are the special awards for the highest average. Because Monday starts the week, we'll start with the Monday-Wednesday class. The highest average is given to the student who, after compiling the grades for 40 ebook chapters, 40 lectures, 9 written tests, 9 practical assessments, 1 final exam, and 1 final practical test, a total of 100 scores. The highest average score was 90.80, and the student is Nicole Hoyer. Good job. Tuesday, Thursday's special award. It's the same thing. Highest average award given to the student who, after compiling the grades for 40 ebook chapters, 40 lecture assignments, 9 written section tests, 9 practical assessment tests, 1 final written test, and 1 final practical test. That is a total of 100 scores. The highest average for Tuesday, Thursday's score was 98.40. And that's Chelsea Megan.
quick. Again, we just like to introduce the instructors and the instructor aides that are in the room. Again, Travis, Mary, these were our 2 leads. You have Jillian, Katie, Cindy, Justin, Mark is over there as well. And we cannot forget Rita in the back of the room who handles all of... All right, so the staff puts a lot of hours in, you know, they take it personal. They really want you guys to succeed. They go above and beyond. They do a fantastic job. They put, like I said, long hours in, far more than just here. You know, a lot of them take it home with them. So, again, a round of applause for all the staff. I appreciate
it. On display in the hallway, our instructors have set up displays of medical emergencies using equipment and techniques that the students have been using throughout the semester. Parents and friends, as you walk around, have your EMT graduates show off what they've learned and their knowledge of the equipment and the procedures that you see outside. A little reminder for the EMT students. The NREMT test can be taken effective tomorrow. You can register for it. The sooner you take it, the less you forget. Okay? This concludes our program. You're invited to a reception of cake and coffee in the cafeteria. Thank you very much, and everybody have a safe trip home.